Hey everyone, welcome to That's Peculiar. I'm Nathan,
I'm Andra.
and I think Andra's got a show today.
Yes, I do. But first, for anyone who cares, my son's birthday party was a huge success.
Oh yeah, I watched the video that you sent, and it was really cute.
Yeah, I worked so hard on those decorations, but it looked really good. And also, I would say, like, not a thing went wrong. Jack and I left the night, like, that was perfect. All the effort was, like, worth it. Yeah.
That's excellent. Yeah, when I saw the picture of you cut out the faces of the Weasleys for the Weasley clock.
Yeah. The Weasley clock.
I was like, oh god. That's so every part of the house looked like it was covered with something.
Yeah, including my bathroom that had Moaning Myrtle in it.
Oh yeah, I don't think I saw that part. I don't think you showed that.
No, the video I sent you was actually Christina did that, so I could send another one that I made, and it has like the background. It actually has the theme music and stuff.
Oh, cool. Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
I actually have a fun fact to share because I don't think that you knew this. Let me look up Let me go back to find it really quick.
We have two fun facts.
This fun fact is specifically for you. We had a listener post a comment. It was from Christina.
Oh yeah.
And she said, LOL, Andra, we both met the Ghost Adventure crew at work when they were in town filming the hospitals episode.
Great.
So I replied and I said, of course. I said, and Andra doesn't seem to realize it.
Like, had no idea. And it was probably one of those things where like everybody was making a big deal about it, and I was just like, I don't even know what's happening. I'll serve you your coffee and not try and make a big deal about whatever you are.
Yeah,
that is hilarious.
Yeah, so apparently you did actually meet the Ghost Adventure crew.
Of course, Christina's gonna call me out. Whatever.
I love that so much. All right, that was my fun fact.
I'm literally like, I don't even know who they are. Mine is an episode fun fact. So it's in Cameroon sits Lake Nyos, one of the only 3 known exploding lakes in the world. It's beautiful on the surface, yeah. Serene waters surrounded by lush greenery, but beneath is a volcanic activity slowly leaking carbon dioxide into the water. Over time, the lake became super saturated with gas. When the gas builds pressure too high, the lake can suddenly erupt, releasing an invisible cloud of CO2.
But how is it not bubbling? Why is it exploding?
I think it has to bubble. That's not clear to me because I've never been there, but I think it bubbles a little bit, but it might be underneath, and then the gas builds and builds, and it basically suffocates everything in its path. In 1986, Lake Nyos erupted and silently killed more than 1,700 people in nearby villages, along with 3,500 livestock.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Survivors described people simply dropping where they stood because it's a silent CO2 cloud that's getting released.
And then it comes down and you get carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah. So you're just, getting poisoned. So scientists later installed bent pipes to safely release the gas, but Lake Nyos remains a haunting reminder that nature can be deadly and hide it and have like a calm surface. So we're starting off strong with that.
If this has to do with volcanoes, I mean, there's a lot that are past due for a big eruption.
That would actually be a really cool episode to talk about volcanoes, but that's not at all the direction I went. This is kind of more on the realm of your mushroom story. I noticed true crime had a really good, people liked that, had a really good response. So we're telling a survivor story because I'm not sure that I'm ready
A
to go into
survivor
other. Yeah.
survivor story.
Yes, a true crime survivor story.
Ugh.
We're talking about Kara Robinson Chamberlain, who was at the time a 15-year-old girl whose calm exterior concealed a survival strategy that would stop a serial killer
Okay.
or a killer.
I want to say that her name is familiar, but I don't think it is.
It would make sense. It's not super. It's 2002 is when
Oh,
she
okay.
went missing. So it's not like I tried to do a little bit more recent. I just didn't do like right now, like the mushroom story. So all right, let's play out the scene. It was a sunny morning in Columbia, South Carolina in June 2002. 15-year-old Kara Robinson was visiting her best friend Heather, and it was typical summer day unfolding around her, like, you know, nothing weird, nothing like
A regular day.
grass. They said yeah. Kara was a responsible teenager. She had a close-knit family and excellent in school, often described by teachers and friends as observant, thoughtful, and remarkable remarkably, sorry, mature for her age. I know. She
Works.
loved reading, spending quiet time outdoors, and volunteering with local community programs. Her parents trusted her implicitly, unaware that within a few hours there'd be a nightmare. But it's great to know all this background with her.
Mm-hmm. Responsible. People trust her. Normal
Yeah.
day. Nothing
Good in
crazy.
school, likes to
Yeah.
read, but
Yeah. Okay.
so Heather's mother asked Kara to water the flowers in the front yard. So Kara grabbed the hose, humming softly to herself, and stepped into the sun. At that precise moment, a man approached in a green Pontiac Firebird. He appeared calm, casual, the kind of stranger a teenager might just ignore. He introduced himself as selling magazines, which is a
Mm-hmm.
pretense at the time that was pretty plausible. Right now, I'd be like, magazines? What?
Well, also, I would be like, why are you in the middle of nowhere selling me a magazine?
Yeah, like, and where did you come from?
How did you find my driveway?
Where's your stand? But in an instant, the ordinary became horrifying. The man pulled out a gun, pressed it against Kara's neck, and demanded that she comply.
Ugh.
So within moments, I know, she was forced into a large plastic storage container in the
Oh,
back of his car. Yeah, I know. And the lid was snapped shut. So she was in darkness in a plastic container with the lid shut.
oh my
Yeah,
God. That's scary.
sounds freaking horrifying. And you're just like watering the garden.
You're literally just doing your daily chore. You're just doing
Mm-hmm.
what your mom asked you.
Yeah, the plastic container. Kara could barely move, her heart raced, but she forced herself to breathe slowly. Which is good. Counting each inhale and exhale, she quickly realized that panic could paralyze her, but staying calm would save her life. Which is
Okay.
like,
Smart girl.
girl, good on you. I'd be like in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd have that with all.
Mm-hmm.
So, as the car rolled through Columbia streets, Kara began mentally cataloging everything she could hear and feel. So, the texture of the container, the vibrations from the road, the pattern of stops and turns, the faint sound of passing cars, every detail she put into her mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, The man driving her was Richard Mark Ivanitz. Though she did not know his name at this time, he was 38, had a seemingly normal life on the surface, and divorced, working sales job, living in modest apartments, but he had predatory behavior, obsessive tendencies, and escalating violence that just people didn't know that knew him.
Clearly.
Mm-hmm. Ivanitz drove her to his apartment where he bound her hands and feet. He attempted to assert control through intimidation and casual conversation, which I'm like, how does that work?
How are you casually asserting dominance?
Yeah, you can't. I don't think
How
so.
If I ever was
and
in a
how
show
can you have
yeah, how would you have a casual conversation and then be
casual
like
conversation? I like the weather outside is so nice, but you're not going outside. Maybe like
yeah,
that. I don't.
that's kind of how I feel like it. Yeah, oh, it's I
don't
know.
know. It doesn't. The description is weird, but underestimating the intelligence of Kara, he just kind of demanded all of this and kind of tried to intimidate her, but she was calm on the inside. And Kara remained methodical. She noticed his uniform from work, cigarette brands, layout of the apartment, items on the counters, and even serial numbers on appliances.
What?
Which is yeah. She is insane.
How would you remember that? I wouldn't remember those things. I would definitely work on remembering physical appearance. What was he wearing? What did he look like?
Yeah.
I couldn't.
She might have a thing with numbers.
Maybe because I would be that's a Maytag, but I wouldn't look at the serial number.
I love Maytag appliances. Good call. Kara spent 18 hours in captivity. During that time, she observed Ivanitz closely, his routines, habits, and demeanor. So she just kept watching him.
Yeah, and so
then
she was just in the living room or something?
So we're gonna get into that in a second, but basically she was able to see enough that she was able to catalog certain things and prepare herself mentally, which is insane. So once inside his apartment, Kara faced the control that we talked about. The rooms were modest but meticulously arranged. Ivanitz attempted to make her feel comfortable by offering her food on the sofa, the soda, and then they had that casual conversation. He spoke of his work, divorce, military background as if to normalize things. And Kara quickly, it's just bizarre. Can you imagine somebody pulling a gun out and then being like, so I'm divorced and
this is what I do for work?
Yeah. I'd be like, oh my God. So Kara realized compliance is probably her best survival strategy with this person.
Yeah.
But inwardly, she was treating the apartment like a crime scene. So she was doing the detail, like we said. So his personality revealed both arrogant and careless. And he underestimated Kara, as we said. So assuming she was terrified and obedient, he ended up leaving her alone at times, which she used to silently catalog even more details. And I think that's sort of how she ended up checking out the logos and the serial numbers on the appliances.
Because she was left alone. But I thought she was bound, so I want to know how she was able to get up and around to look.
I think she was just bound in the car, and then I think he locked the door.
Okay, but there's windows.
Hold on a second. I think I had it in here because I felt like she was not fully bound. She was able to, like, move around.
So, like, maybe her hands were tied, but she could walk around?
But she was able to drink soda.
Well, if your hands are tied, you could still, like, hold a cup.
Yeah.
But if my hands are like this, I feel like open, even though my wrists were bound, I would still be fumbling with
Yeah.
locks and trying
So
to get out.
she did have yeah. So I see she did have restraints. It's just sort of unclear. It kinda sounds like it was definitely her hands, like you're saying, so, like, enough where she could drink stuff and do that, but she was actually able to, like, free them at some point.
Oh, okay.
Um, I think there was also locks on things. I don't think it was just but not windows. So, eventually, Ivanitz fell asleep after a long day, and Kara knew this was, like, the time to get out.
Okay.
So, she freed herself from the restraints. Her movements were very silent and precise. She recalled skills she had learned in Girl Scouts, like tying the knot and
Oh, good for
problem
her.
solving under pressure, and she applied them to slip free. Once her hands were free, she silently moved through the apartment in sharp corners and, like, even creaky boards because she had time to roam and, like, find out these places.
Mhm. And be
She
like,
opened the door, checking for sounds, and the hallway was empty. She moved into the hallway, it was empty, and then she ran to the street. So, she was out of the apartment at this
mhm.
time. So
Yeah.
she unbound herself, got out.
Okay.
'Cause he fell asleep, and I'm assuming he's just a frickin' idiot, thank God, and just, like,
Apparently.
left it unlocked, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this was within, like, 19 hours or something is when she escaped, so
That guy got far too
it's
comfortable far too quickly with a hostage.
yeah, yeah, it's makes you feel like he had done this before.
Or not at
Mm.
all, or not at all, because they got away.
I don't know, I think the comfortability, but we'll get into that.
Mm.
So, Kara ran to the street, and she waved frantically at a passing car, and it was a young driver that stopped, and she explained that she had been kidnapped and needed police's help. The driver immediately rushed her to the nearest police station, and authorities took her statement. So, as we talked about, her recall is
Mhm.
just extraordinary. She would describe Ivanitz's car, his apartment, his habits, and even minute details like the serial numbers on the appliance.
Mhm.
Investigators were like just like we are. We're like, I don't
How'd you do that?
I don't even know where the serial number on my oven is. So
Me neither.
maybe on the side. In
Somewhere.
her brief captivity, Kara had built a mental profile that just obviously helped identify the serial killer. After Kara arrived safely at the police station, authorities understood but were unable to provide like the right way to approach this right away. But then as she started getting more and more details, she kind of like sped it up. I've never been in that situation, but they can't just like rush and go to that apartment. What is unclear to me is she got in the car of somebody at the apartment building. And this is the part that was a little unclear, like, why couldn't they just rush there right then?
Yeah, why they have to, like, go through channels? I was kidnapped.
Yeah,
This is where I was kidnapped at. That's the house. Take him out.
yeah, go in there.
Get him.
But I think they needed more information in the, like, interview process. They even spent, like, time doing that. I'd be like, "Why? Just go get them. They're
He
sleeping, and I
he could
escaped."
literally go on the run any minute. The longer I spend
Yeah,
my time talking to you here, the less likely you are to get him.
yeah. Well, within hours, police identified Ivanitz. and began connecting him to previously unsolved cases. They realized that he had a history of predatory behavior, like we talked about, and multiple disappearances across state lines. Kara's testimony and the observations not only made him get apprehended, but also helped connect these other girls' deaths, which is just amazing.
Wow.
Do you freaking imagine? God, I'd be panicking the whole time and I'd probably be no help.
Oh, yeah, I would be. This is how I die.
Yeah. So let's expand a little bit more into Richard Mark Ivanitz. So, like we said outwardly, he seems normal. He served in the U.S. Navy, held sales jobs, and lived in quiet neighborhoods. But his history revealed escalating criminal behavior. Ivanitz had a troubled childhood, reportedly experiencing abuse and strict discipline at home. As a teen, he began exhibiting defiant behavior, which who didn't? Exposing himself, this part's weird, exposing himself to young girls and showing early signs of obsessive tendencies. But the regular defiant behavior is like, that's normal.
Yeah, defiance is very normal. And it also depends on the kind of defiance.
Yeah. By the 1990s, Ivanitz's crimes became more serious. He kidnapped and murdered multiple teenage girls in Virginia.
Ugh.
Yeah. Including Sophia Silva and sisters Kristen and Katie Lisk. These cases had remained, like we said, unsolved for years, leaving families desperate for answers.
Yeah.
And Kara's escape in 2002 just like amazingly provided those families with closure. And she did so much details. It's just, I think it amazed everyone.
That's crazy.
I know. Honestly, she's a hero.
Yeah.
That's part of why I wanted to go into this, because it felt true, crimey, but I needed a survival story. I don't know. True crime is awesome. I listen to it, and I do, I love certain podcasts that do just true crime based, but I feel like that is so heavy. I don't know if I could ever just do that. Even this, like learning about this, there's so many links that I'll tell you at the end, but you can read the full story, and I just summed it up. And there's so much information to be had. And you can look into Kristen and Katie Lisk and even Sophia Silva.
Oh, wow.
A lot. Yeah. So once authorities confirmed it was Richard Mark Ivanitz, a nationwide manhunt began. Law enforcement understood that
why would it be nationwide when she was like, I was just at his house?
Yeah. So it took several hours. What I'm figuring out is that with that time, he tried to
He woke up and ran away. This is why, as the victim, I would have been like, why are we doing this? Go grab
get over
him,
there.
hold him in custody, and then figure this part out.
Yeah. Yes. So law enforcement understood that he was not only dangerous to Kara, but likely posed a threat to other young girls.
You think?
And time was critical, and yeah, they should have done that in the first hand. Investigators coordinated across multiple jurisdictions. I do like that they did this, because there's stories out there where police aren't necessarily like super cooperative with
together. Yeah.
Multiple jurisdictions. But I think they were just so worried because he had already fled before that he just like disappeared. I think they were worried that he would do that. So they were sharing information together in Virginia, South Carolina, and Florida. But Kara gave so much information that there was a precise profile. They knew who he was. They knew his car he was driving.
Oh.
And eventually they ended up in a high-speed chase. Ivanitz was aware that law enforcement was closing in and fled to South Carolina, so they were super smart doing that. On June 27th, 2002, police tracked him to Sarasota, Florida. And that's where the high-speed chase ensued. Ivanitz drove recklessly, trying to escape authorities. Obviously, it's a high-speed chase. Officers pursued with extreme caution, knowing that the man they were dealing with had a history of violence and unpredictability. The chase ended in a parking lot, which I was just like,
what?
You fucking stupid, man. Yeah.
I'm going to go through a parking lot and just park.
Well, he was surrounded by police vehicles, but I'm still like, how did you not realize that was a parking lot? I think he made a wrong turn and ended up in a parking lot. I don't know. I've never been in a high-speed chase before. Thank God. Ivanitz, cornered and desperate, made a fatal decision. Coward. He's a coward. So rather than surrendering, he pulled out a gun and took his own life and died instantly.
Coward.
I know. Coward.
Yeah.
Especially like, what is wrong with you? Well, while investigators were relieved that Ivanitz couldn't harm anyone else, his suicide prevented him from standing trial and facing justice. It was good, obviously, to close the cases, but the manhunt highlighted the importance of victim testimony in identifying. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, why? And it's amazing she got that many details, but the fact that she had to.
Yeah.
It's just annoying.
The thing for me is to literally go to a precinct and be like, I just got kidnapped. I just escaped. This is where I was being held. This, and that. And it's going to take you hours.
Yeah.
They could have sent a squad car with a couple police officers while I finish my interview and then bring him in. And I can be like, that's the guy. He kidnapped me. And then you can go through all the other stuff. Like,
yeah.
Why is there so much red tape?
Why wasn't it immediate?
Yes.
It's just like when a kid goes missing, the first 24 hours, they always state is the most crucial, but you can't report somebody missing for 24 hours. Like,
yes.
Who made these freaking rules and why are they not changed? Yeah. Particularly for people that are young. Like, I get to some extent, like
if I just go off somewhere as an adult, like I'm not necessarily missing. I'm just unplugging for a while and I may not tell anybody. Yeah. But if I'm like 5, if I'm not there within an hour.
I'm not unplugging.
I'm missing. I'm 5.
But also the thing, like, people are always like, oh, they probably ran away. Great. They're still fucking a child. And go get them.
Find them.
Yeah. Like, why is that not a priority? Even if they ran away, like.
You're still a minor and I need to know where you are. If I am your parent, I need to know where you are. Exactly. If you went to your grandma's house or you went to your aunt, I need to know.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Well, for Kara Robinson Chamberlain, escaping Ivanitz was just the beginning. Though physically free and psychological aftermath was profound, trauma from the abduction and near-death experiences lingered for years, but she faced it with resilience, of course.
Of course. She was very smart and put together.
Yeah. Kara's story became widely known. She participated in interviews, documentaries, and educational programs aimed at raising awareness about personal safety and abduction prevention. And then over time, she chose a path of advocacy and public service, which makes sense because she was
That checks out.
previously, yeah, she was already doing volunteer work.
Yeah, but
So her
advocacy
life
after
to
facing that is very makes sense.
yeah. Sorry. The case influenced law enforcement procedures, highlighting how critical victim observations can be, as we already said. Sorry, some of this stuff is repeated because I got it from different links and I was just putting everything together. But Kara's story had inspired countless people around the world, and she demonstrates that surviving trauma is possible and that victims can reclaim agency, transform their experience into advocacy, and create positive change for other people. Her story has been featured in Lifetime movies, true crime specials, obviously, and it has inspired a huge audience, especially because she was brave and stopped him and closed out cold cases. Oh, I'm back.
Positive change for other people.
Yeah, that's pretty much the end. It was just a positive change. True crime stories often end in heartbreak, which is why I don't know about diving into all of them. But just the closing thoughts: at just 15, Kara faced this danger and then led to the captor. And it's just a freaking amazing story.
Yeah, I think
What are your thoughts?
I think it's very impressive that she was able to keep it together enough to actually lead law enforcement to where this guy was supposed to be. But
Yeah.
then I'm upset that it took them so long to jump into action anyway. And sure, the outcome ended up being positive for her and for, the world, because he ended up not being alive anymore.
Yeah.
But it could have happened faster, and there wouldn't have had to have been a manhunt. There wouldn't have had to have been a waste of resources, and there wouldn't have had to have been a high-speed chase, which puts other people's lives in danger.
Right. It's also pretty aggravating that he didn't face criminal charges for the 3 other victims plus Kara.
Yeah.
At least the 3 stated victims.
Yeah, I feel like he would have been better off rotting in prison.
Yeah, me too. I wish he was rotting in prison.
Frustrating.
So it's super frustrating. You can check out these stories. There's People Magazine, where the focus is Kara Robinson. There's actually a Fox News article about this as well.
Oh, interesting.
There's an Oxygen documentary, and I also got some information from the People Magazine Lifetime movie feature, which is different.
Oh.
Just in case you're unclear on that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Thank you for sharing. I'm glad there was a survivor.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
But yeah, tune in next time for another new episode of That's Peculiar. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us today on That's Peculiar. Tune in next week for another episode. Please comment, share, and follow us for updates. If you are enjoying the show, please consider supporting us via our support link located in the show notes.